What is up, YouTube? It's your YouTube bestie, Antoinette, coming to you live from the city of Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. And I am going to be talking about a very, very, very near and dear to me topic. Like, it's got me hot right now. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. Let's go ahead and get right into this because it's time for me to rant. So, if you're viewing this video, you're viewing it from internet of some kind, whether through the YouTube app or the YouTube website. Maybe you watched it on Facebook somehow, or you stumbled upon my channel. But we're on the internet, and you saw the title of this video, which is basically why I hate social media. Maybe some variation of that topic. But today I'm going to be talking about my problems with social media and why I really wish my time on there would end. And there's a lot. So if you're around my age, I'm about to be 24 years old, and I've been on social media since I was 12 years old. So that's 12 years that I've been subjected to seeing any and everything on the internet. And of course, nobody forced me to be, and I joined willingly, but I was 12, and that's where the addiction started. And let's talk a little bit about why I joined. I feel like, as we know, social media today, it's a big marker for news. People get a lot of their news, a lot of their current events from social media. And when I was in middle school, Facebook was relatively new. I think it was around 2010, 2011. It was relatively new to me. All the girls in my middle school already had Facebook, and they were talking about it, and they would talk about it, and I didn't know like what that world was. I know the adults had it, but I didn't really have an interest in it. I knew about MySpace, and I didn't have that either. For me, it was a peer pressure thing. It was a wanting to be in the know, wanting to be around all the other kids, and wanting to be and feel included. So one night I was at my sister's house. I joined Facebook and added all of my friends, added like people, and this is back when there was an obsession to have like as many followers and as many friends as you could, even when you didn't know the people. And I think that's incredibly dangerous for 12-year-old me to have done. But it was mostly people that like went to my school or had gone to my school, so I wasn't just like friending strangers just yet. But I definitely felt that there was a pressure to join, and that I wanted to know what was going on. I wanted to know what people were talking about, and so I joined. And I definitely was not posting what all the other 12-year-olds were posting. That doesn't make me better than them. That doesn't make me new or like special or anything. But I definitely wanted to be like them in that way, that all of the girls at my school, I felt like they were getting the attention from boys. They were getting the attention from other people. They were getting a lot of likes. And I was like, maybe I should do that. So if I still have those profile pictures on my current Facebook, then I'll go and find them. I think I switched Facebooks at one time and like use my real name after a while. But I definitely felt that I needed to post, and I needed to do something, and I needed to be a part of all the other kids in my school who are on social media. And so that was that. Then I realized that, so that was just Facebook. Like, I joined Facebook, had people as friends. I wanted to see all the videos, all the high school fights, you know, all the middle school fights. And so I joined it, and I definitely liked seeing what people posted. I liked seeing what, you know, everybody was posting. And I mostly followed celebrities, like I kind of still do, but that was the majority of what I wanted to see was Beyonce, and she wasn't even really on social media. So I joined Twitter, and I forgot all about it. Didn't give it a second thought. But that's where the addiction came in, because the likes, the constant gratification, the constant compliments and things like that. So for me, I really liked it, and I really enjoyed it. It felt nice as a 12-year-old. It felt nice. Now, my first gripe was that there's way too much like connectivity, or it's way too easy for kids younger, especially minors under 18, that are able to like, it's way too easy for them to be able to connect with older adults. I was bonding over like a TV show with somebody in a fandom. I think it was All My Children, back when I was like obsessed with the soap operas. I still kind of am, but I don't watch them anymore. I friended a grown man who was in love with that soap opera too, and he was like, hey, how old are you? And I was like 13. He blocked me immediately, which he should have, and I'm thankful for that. I realized that, you know, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, or maybe I shouldn't be subbing my parents on this. And I go back right now and read all of those messages and all the posts that I posted, and it's embarrassing. And I think definitely I should have been monitored a little more. For me, I'm not going to allow my child to be on social media until they're about 16, because I just don't think that our minds are mentally capable of processing the information that we get on the internet, especially on social media at such a young age. Seeing all the sex and all the graphic violence and all the content, even at my age of 23, it's very hard to process. So having a 12-year-old getting the wrong information from the wrong people at that age definitely does not sit right with me. And even my like 12-year-old cousins and 8-year-old cousins, 9-year-old cousins follow me on social media, and it makes me uncomfortable because, first of all, I'm a 23-year-old woman. I'm gonna post what I want to post, and I feel like people should monitor their children more. You know what I'm saying? You should be understanding and watching what they're doing, especially when it comes to social media, especially when it's so easy for them to be able to talk to grown adults. It just doesn't sit right with me that we are able to do that, and I definitely wish I hadn't joined social media at 12. I wish I would have just like been that person who was different and who didn't want to be a part of the crowd and didn't want to join, and just stayed where I was, because honestly it shaped a lot of my thinking, and I've had to like rewire my brain to think differently for a lot of things and learn things outside of the internet, and learn interacting with people outside of the social media woke phase that we're going through right now. So it was definitely something that I thought about growing up, and then, you know, I've wanted to leave. It's kind of hard to do that when my whole spiel or my whole thing is wanting to be a social media influencer, right? Do I want to be an influencer? I guess I'm on YouTube, so I want to share something. But I definitely think it's hard when a lot of my friends and I connect through social media, family members talk through social media. You wouldn't know a lot about a lot of people through social media. And I think that's one of the downsides of like leaving it, that I've been so reluctant to do, because even though I want to be an actress, they're looking at social media accounts now. How many followers do you have? How much buzz can you make for this at this, you know, at this stage? Like Addison Rae is in a movie. We know, I'm not gonna say anything negative, but we know her following has helped her to get into a lot of the castings that she has. I think that it's very hard to grow on the internet, and it's definitely very hard as somebody who wants to make creative content but doesn't have the money to do so. I think social media is definitely a nice way for information to be out there and for us to get that connectivity and for us to get that recognition, but at 12 years old is definitely not nice. With the Black Lives Matter movement, and last year seeing things like Breonna Taylor, Elijah McClain, and the whole Black Lives Matter movement last year of 2020, I realized that the processing of Black people, the way that Black people and Black bodies are displayed on the internet is so careless, it's so triggering, it's so gross, and sometimes I hate being on social media. I can't tell you how many times I've seen somebody die on social media live, like just scrolling past and somebody didn't post a trigger warning, they just posted a video. Like, it's so disrespectful, first of all, to post a video of somebody's dead body. I feel like it's so disrespectful to their family. There has to be a lack of awareness on why you would post that and why you would want to share with people somebody dying. Why would you want to pass that trauma on to other people? And so a lot of the times I do not share pictures or videos of police brutality. I'll share maybe like a screenshot and then of something, but it won't be graphic. And I also make sure I put trigger warning. Like I said, nobody's responsible for your triggers. Nobody's responsible for, you know, what you may find offensive or anything like that, but also the lack of awareness and the lack of, you know, like who wants to see that? I know I definitely don't. And I know a lot of the time I had to log out of social media because I didn't want to see Eric Garner. You know, I didn't want to see George Floyd's, like, you know, I just didn't want to see it. It was too painful. And it was definitely something that us even showing our children, it's just too much. And I feel like for me, that's one of the things I hate about social media. It's one of the things I hate, that we just process it and process it and process it, and we're going through these traumas and we're reliving these traumas, these videos and these clips, and nobody bats an eye. Nobody thinks about how traumatized we are by seeing these things. We just go about our day and close out the app, and that can be it. So I definitely think that that's something that I don't enjoy about social media. I feel like everyone expects you to be woke or have the same sentiments as them, and if you don't agree with them, then you should be crucified or you should be canceled. And I don't believe in cancel culture, but I definitely think that especially Twitter has a way of ganging up on people and being just downright rude and nasty, and they wouldn't be like that online. And I've been rude and nasty before. I've definitely engaged in that, and I definitely had to sit back and reflect and wonder why it was okay to be so mean in that way, especially to, like, everybody is somebody behind that screen. Everybody is a person, everybody's human, everybody makes mistakes. Do I think that just because you don't like this actor, I have to dislike this actor? No. Do I have to agree with everything you say? No. There's this like hive mind that we've created on social media where if you don't like Beyonce, you should go to hell. If you don't like Billie Eilish or Taylor Swift, you should do that. Like, who cares? Who cares? We're so wrapped up in celebrity culture too that with social media, we're able to get into their lives and we're able to think that we own them and we own pieces of them and we own what they want to say and we own what they want to do and what they want to post and how they feel and how they think. We think that they're our best friends, and it's just really wild to me that a lot of the time these celebrities definitely still don't care. They still don't care, and I wouldn't. As a person who, you know, engages in this stuff and has been in fandoms too, I would not have social media if I was a celebrity. I do not blame Scarlett Johansson for not having social media. I don't blame all the other celebrities that I've seen that don't have social media or who engage very bare minimum with it, because people are so cruel and people think they own you. And social media, I think, has bridged the gap between like celebrities and their fans in positive ways, but also it's allowed people to think that they own those persons, like those people. And I definitely engaged in it a lot of the time, and I'm just like, it's weird now that I have that mindset where, oh, I'm gonna argue with this person about Beyonce for 4 hours back and forth over the internet that I don't even know. Like, no. If you don't think she's talented, that's fine. It's a lie, but that's fine. Go about your day. Who cares? I don't know you. I'm not about to spend any more time on that. And I think social media has created a culture where we have to engage with that a lot of the time, and I just choose not to anymore. You know, if somebody says something dumb, then I might say something if I have time. I might say something if I really feel like it. But there's just this culture where you have to be politically correct in the way that you cannot disagree or you're gonna be crucified. You cannot think as other, or people are going to deem you as a person who's problematic, or you know, no, don't support so-and-so, they're problematic because they made a mistake and said this, or they had an idea, or they said an opinion. I'm not talking about racism or homophobia or transphobia. That's not what I'm talking about, and I will never excuse any of that. I'm talking about simple people being people and having an opinion that doesn't align with somebody else's extreme views most of the time. You support who you support and you support who you don't. By giving them the buzz and giving them talking about them, you're supporting them in some way because you're getting their name out there and you're giving them more exposure. If I don't like you, I don't talk about you. If I do like you, hey, maybe like your tweet and stuff. And that brings me to another topic of everybody's thoughts, everybody's feelings, everybody's opinions are there for you to see. And for me, I was finding that a lot of my opinions, a lot of my feelings, a lot of my thoughts were not my own. So I was forming opinions based off what everybody else said instead of like reading up on this topic and then deciding on myself, reading up on this person and then deciding, engaging the situation for myself. Our opinions are so freely said on the internet and on social media that I think a lot of times I don't think about what I really feel about the situation, and I feel like it's harmful to me because then I'm not being my own person. I'm not being a person that researches and thinks, owns up to my own feelings. So sometimes I'll take a couple weeks break off of social media and I'll come back and I'm like, okay, I was able to think. I was able to go and watch this show without somebody ruining it for me because they don't like it. They have their opinions or they didn't like this storyline. Like sometimes you just want to watch the show. Sometimes you just want to think about the show with your own mind and think and see things and interpret things as yourself and not be like have everything else and everyone else's opinions about it. You know, sometimes you can enjoy something and you go on Twitter or you go on social media and somebody is so angry about it and then you're just like, oh. You know, sometimes I just want to live in the moment. I'm turned off about, I don't want everybody's opinions or think pieces or, you know, on every single topic. It's just not worth it. So I think this goes hand in hand, the body image and why I dislike the Photoshop BBL era and the way that people portray things as real when it's not. And the way we've given so much power to these celebrities, especially the Kardashians, to where they can go out and get surgery and lie about it and then try to call people lazy who don't have the means or the funds to do that stuff. I think it was a couple months ago that Khloe Kardashian, a picture that she didn't really approve of was posted online and she got mad about it and she was upset, rightfully. If you didn't approve of it, okay, you didn't approve, we'll take it off. But she came also a couple days ago to say like, if you don't go out, if you don't work out, if you don't do this, if you don't do that, you're making excuses and I hate people like that, you're lazy. Like, huh? You have set the beauty standards incredibly high. You and your family have set the beauty standards incredibly high. You've put those out there for young girls and young boys to see and be influenced by, and then you say, oh, you're lazy if you don't do that same thing or if you don't have those same means. Huh? Like you Photoshop every single thing about your body, about yourself, and you sell that as truth to young girls. Like, that's not your responsibility at all. But also, when you have such a big platform like that, it is imperative that you make those choices with those young girls in mind, because you know they follow you and you know they're looking at you. You didn't sign up to be a role model, but also you're using being a role model as way and a means to make money, right? So I just think that a lot of the times, for me, even me, I see a picture of a woman on the internet, I'm like, damn, I feel really bad about myself today. Or I see some insane beauty standard, like, what is a hip dip? Never heard of a hip dip in my life, but suddenly we hate hip dips. Never heard of anybody being ever worried about love handles, but suddenly we hate love handles. And suddenly now I have to think about, oh, should my love handles be gone? Oh, should I try to get rid of my hip dips? Like, who cares? Who cares? Live life as you see fit, but also realize that you're setting incredibly high beauty standards and then you can't even follow them. And I hate it. And I think if I were to ever be in that position of where I had a platform like that, please call me out if I were ever to sell any kind of flat tummy tea, ever sell any kind of get rich scheme, like anything like that. I really hate it because it's appealing to people who are very influenced by those things, who can't afford the surgeries and who can't afford to, go to the gym 30 times a week, and who can't make the sacrifices because of some things going on in their life. Am I saying make excuses for people? No. But I'm also saying I'm not going to participate in a culture that does that. I'm not going to participate in things that do that. And I really hate that social media has become that, and that celebrities have been able to influence us in those ways. And I definitely think that if I were ever to be in that situation, I would really want somebody to be like, remember when you said in 2021 that you would never do this? Because first of all, I'm not even going to think about doing it. And even if I did, there must be some really stupid reason I would need somebody to call me out for it, because there's no way. There's just no way that I want people to feel that way about their body, especially when I'm lying to them. That's the whole thing. We're lying to these girls about things like this. It's just weird. It's weird. And I don't know if I said really much of anything, but I definitely hate the beauty standards of today and how they're always changing. There's always going to be a change in beauty standards, and yet we still try to follow them because of how much we're influenced by social media and how much we're influenced by celebrities. So I think this is like the final thing, but another thing I found myself doing was feeling like I had to post to validate what I was doing, feeling like I had to post to prove something to somebody else. And I felt like I was posting to say, hey, look at me, look what I have. Hey, look at me, look what I did. Like, nobody cares. And I think for me, it took me a while to understand that. And especially being someone who wants to be like in that world, but not, I don't want to call myself an influencer, but somebody who wants to be able to participate in some of that lifestyle. I definitely had to think like, I would think like, oh, this doesn't fit the aesthetic of the rest of my page, or this doesn't fit this, or I can't post this because it makes me look that way. And I definitely have had some friends that don't want me to post them or don't want me to post their names, and I respect that. But I think I was hyper focusing on a lot of that stuff for myself, and I was making it harder on me because then I'd be like, should I post this? Did it happen if I didn't post it? And that definitely took the fun out of what social media is supposed to be, I feel like. And for me, I was like, okay, now I'm just gonna post pictures of my dog all day. Now I don't have to worry about if so-and-so saw it, and I don't have to subtweet, and I don't have to do this, and I don't have to argue, and I don't have to think about that. Like, this is not my job, and this is not how I want to view myself and how I want to think about myself and how I want to think, because social media has definitely been an addiction for me, as it is for a lot of people. And I think that I want that to change. I want it to be a place where I can engage with people of like mind and maybe opposite mind, that you just want to connect, and sometimes you just want to talk, sometimes you just want to post a picture of cheese. A lot of my depression was coming from a place where I was comparing myself to every single person that I saw on the internet. My friends I was being jealous of, when I've never felt a jealous bone in my body towards my friends. You feel what I'm saying? I was never a person that was not happy for my friends, and I just like saw the attention they were getting, and it wasn't good for me in the long run. And so I had to leave for a minute and interact with them in real time and talk to them in real time and realize that I was happy for them in real time, and realize that what we post on social media is not everything. I've been homeless before. I've been down before, can barely pay rent, can barely pay my bills, depressed, crying, stressed out, just everything in the book. And I've been up, and I've been having buttloads of money, and I've been up there where I felt like I was rich and where I was happy and I just wanted to show off. And I just, like, social media is not everything. It's what you see is not what you always get. And I think I had to convince myself of that, and I had to step back, and I still do step back from a lot of the times. And I think if I didn't need it so much to where I want to post content on TikTok to grow and I want to use that as a way to further my career and to connect with other like-minded individuals, then I would not use it. If I did not want to be in that space, then I would not use it. You feel what I'm saying? So it's definitely such a hard thing because it's so ingrained into our society, social media, and there's a lot of people that don't use it, and I used to think they were crazy for it, and then I think they are living the richest lives ever for not using social media. I think if they can come on and maybe post a picture or don't have one at all, then that is very great, and I'm kind of envious of how they navigate life, and I want to be there one day. But also I love that I can connect with people. I can make friends from halfway across the world on social media. I can order things, I can see what's new, I can check out these movies, get recommended stuff on social media. So my love-hate relationship continues, and maybe one day I'll just say enough is enough. But until then, I'm here, I'm complaining to you all in this video, and I think I'm pretty much done with that. I think I talked about enough. I think I complained and ranted enough. I think that I will see you guys next video, so like and subscribe, comment down below if you feel so inclined, and peace.